everybody. If you could grab your seats, we're about to get the show on the road. So it is my pleasure to welcome Governor Murphy, Assembly Speaker Coughlin, Congressman Pallone, DOT Commissioner Gutierrez-Gaschetti, New Jersey Transit President and CEO Corbett, County Commissioner Director Rios, all of our distinguished elected officials that are here, most importantly, all of you to the city of New Brunswick. It is a pleasure to be here with all of you as we mark our latest project here in the city of New Brunswick. You know, it's just last week that I was at the New Brunswick train station to celebrate an exciting collaborative initiative between New Jersey Transit and the New Jersey Arts Council that displays the works of local artists throughout the station and its exterior to enhance the commuting experience and bring art to the public. And here we are today to announce a $49 million worth of infrastructure improvements to our historic train station. Like so many projects, this initiative is the direct result of the success and strength of New Brunswick partnerships. The engagement, commitment, and support of Commissioner Gutierrez-Gaschetti and President Corbett have been invaluable. The New Brunswick train station was built in 1903 when I was just a little boy and is the last remaining Pennsylvania Railroad station for a mid-sized city in New Jersey. Your stewardship of this historic structure has been remarkable. We look forward excitedly to the results of the state's investment in New Brunswick, preserving a part of our long and rich history as a regional and statewide transit hub, while providing the modern amenities that will enhance the customer experience for our commuting and public transit community. Earmarking $49 million towards our train station further underscores the commitment of our state elected officials and executives and their recognition of New Brunswick as a true transit village. So I want to thank our state legislature for its continued support and commitment. One thing is for sure, when good things are happening in New Brunswick, our Assembly Speaker Craig Coughlin and our 17th District Representative Senator Bob Smith and Assemblyman Joe Egan and Joe Danielson have their fingerprints all over it. We are so grateful and appreciative for the opportunity to work with the Middlesex County Commissioners and enjoy the benefits of their leadership, vision, and creativity, not only on this project, but in so many other ways that benefit our city residents and all of those who are fortunate enough to call Middlesex County home. We know that we are in good hands with the Middlesex County Improvement Authority, serving as project manager, overseeing the new renovations. I also want to take a moment to thank Congressman Frank Pallone for being a tireless champion for us all of these years. Simply put, you can always count on Frank Pallone for his help and support. And I can't talk about a redevelopment project in New Brunswick without thanking our redevelopment partner, Chris Palladino, and of course the entire DevCo team for all they do to help make sure the city of New Brunswick just keeps getting better. And I also want to take the opportunity to thank and acknowledge my partners on the New Brunswick City Council for all that they do to help to move the city of New Brunswick. And Governor, I am so very glad for the opportunity to publicly and personally thank you. You recognize the potential of the New Jersey Innovation and Technology Hub site and the importance of its central location here, right in the heart of New Jersey, directly across from the city's train station on the most traveled, well-queued rail line in the entire United States. It is through your personal effort and that of your economic team that our powerhouse core partner team, so critical to the success of that type of project, was assembled to form its nucleus. While New Brunswick has certainly experienced a renaissance of redevelopment, it is the Innovation and Technology Center that has served as the impetus for today's reason to celebrate. You know, I've had the privilege of serving as mayor during the terms of an awful lot of governors. Throughout the years, New Brunswick has continued to move forward toward becoming the modern, exciting, globally connected urban center that it has become today. But I can say unequivocally that we have never advanced so far or accomplished as much as we have under your leadership and administration. And that is not a coincidence. And for that, we are forever grateful, Governor. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our governor, Governor Phil Murphy.
Jim, thank you for those extraordinary and gracious words. This is the second event I've done with Jim today in New Brunswick, and the third event I've done in New Brunswick today. So I love this town, and I just said to Frank Pallone, can you imagine what this is going to look like 10 years from now? Hopefully sooner, but just roll the clock forward. It's extraordinary what's going to happen here. Thank you, Jim, for that extraordinary introduction and for everything you do. I mentioned this to a group earlier. Way back when it was cold, dark, and lonely, and I was trying to meet with folks who were doing it right, Jim was one of the first meetings I had. And it wasn't a coincidence, because I thought then, and I still think today, I suspect Craig and Bob and Joe would join me in this, I wish Trenton could run like New Brunswick. I wish the state could run like New Brunswick runs. So Jim, thank you. I've got some extraordinary Middlesex County luminaries on the speaking program. Jim mentioned a bunch of the elected officials. I know Ron is going to acknowledge his colleagues. But speaking today, in addition to Jim Cahill, Assembly Speaker and my partner in government, Craig Coughlin. Craig, we couldn't be doing what Jim was referring to without you, my friend. I mentioned Senator Bob Smith and Joe Danielson, who are with us today. Board of County Commissioners Director Ron Rios, Ron, otherwise known as Mickey's husband. And I know Chris Palladino wanted to be here and couldn't be, so we'll give him a shout out in absentia. And even though he is from my home county of Monmouth, Congressman Frank Pallone, he's my congressman, by the way, is just as much a Middlesex guy, and we're incredibly honored to have him with us as well, Frank. Amen. I also want to acknowledge the extraordinary chair here in this county. There's no one like Kevin McCabe. Kevin, God bless you, buddy. And we've got the CEO of the Economic Development Authority, Tim Sullivan, with us, and I don't know where we'd be without Tim and his great board and staff, including, as we were just discussing not 10 minutes ago, trying to find ways to stay ahead of an extraordinarily evolving, fast evolving economy, both in the state and around the country. So let's get right at it. New Brunswick is home, as you all know better than I, to our state's flagship public research university, Rutgers. I will be, by the way, parenthetically, that's why I'm wearing red, in Piscataway tomorrow to see Rutgers beat Iowa. It is also home to one of our state's flagship teaching hospitals, Robert Wood Johnson University Medical Hospital. It is home not just to one of our great companies, but one of America's great companies, Johnson & Johnson. It's home to the State Theater, a nationally recognized home for the arts. And it is home to what will be two global, not one, but two global centers for life sciences, innovation, and commercialization. The Jack and Cheryl Morris Cancer Center and the Hub right behind us, which will be transformative institutions in the years and decades ahead. Yet anyone who has ridden NJ Transit or Amtrak in or out of New Brunswick knows this station does not live up to the standards being set by the city surrounding it. So today we're here to see that it does. We're here to put in motion the $49 million investment that the state budget I proudly signed makes, improving the New Brunswick rail station. This is a broad-based investment in improving the customer experience, and it partners with Middlesex County Improvement Authority. Jim Polos is with us. Jim, great to see you, man, who will be leading this project. Moreover, this funding is being provided as part of the budget's focus on debt avoidance and defeasance. In other words, we're directly investing this cash instead of having to borrow it. This is a smart way for us to move forward to make a vital infrastructure improvement today without saddling the taxpayers of tomorrow. And again, I want to give Craig and Bob and Joe and all the other folks in the legislature who work with us on that budget. And the $49 million, by the way, that we're putting to work here is just one part of a total of $814 million that the budget is investing in rail station improvements through the Debt Defeasance and Prevention Fund. This project runs the gamut from extending and replacing well-worn passenger platforms to rehabbing or replacing bulky escalators and elevators. By the way, who turned the heat off here, man? This is just, what the heck's going on here? I was up 1,000 degrees yesterday. It goes to installing brighter and more energy efficient lighting, upgrading heating and air conditioning systems for those days when the weather outside on the platform isn't inviting, among numerous other improvements, both internal and external, as well as those that are seen and unseen. Throughout my first term and now almost into year 5, one of the top priorities that we've had has remained restoring NJ Transit to where it once was, a national model for safe, modern, and efficient commuter rail. We have refilled the ranks of rail engineers to keep the lines running, putting, by the way, nearly 130 new engineers on the job and in locomotive cabs, with still more being trained as we speak to ensure a strong future. We are replacing old and tired passenger cars and locomotives with new models to not only increase passenger comfort, but to improve system efficiency and performance. And, not to be forgotten, we beat every odds maker betting against us and got the so-called positive train control, which is safety technology, installed and operational on time. On-time performance is up, and fares haven't budged a penny now in 5 years. Through the steady and capable leadership of Transportation Commissioner Jim mentioned her, and NJ Transit Board Chair Diane Gutierrez-Scacchetti, and President and CEO Kevin Corbett, and the teams working alongside them, the past almost 5 years have seen NJ Transit continuously moving in the right direction. And now we turn our attention to this historic station, which has served New Brunswick, as Jim said, since 1903, when he was in his first term. Let's put this into perspective. In 1903, Teddy Roosevelt was in the White House. In 1903, the New York Highlanders, the team that we now call the New York Yankees, were founded. But there are also those of us who would note that it was also the year in which the Boston Red Sox won the first ever World Series. But I digress. In 1903, Rutgers athletic teams were still called the Queensmen. This station has lived through New Brunswick's ups and downs. It has witnessed the buildings around it being demolished and replaced, only to be demolished and replaced again. The station helped New Brunswick earn its nickname as the Hub City. It can, and it will again be a point of pride for the New Brunswick rising around us. A city at the center of the global, and I say that word advisedly, global life sciences revolution. As our economy continues its rebound from the depths of the pandemic, and as people are coming back to downtown New Brunswick for work or school or for whatever, we are getting to work to see that this station better supports the nearly 4,500 daily riders it has historically served. The New Jersey, if that weren't enough, the New Jersey State Council on the Arts and NJ Transit recently partnered to make New Brunswick Station part of its transitional artwork undertaking, with temporary art installations throughout the station for riders to experience as they come and go and to enhance their experience. But we want to make an enhanced rider experience here something permanent. And we will, when we make this a station, one that when people exit their trains and step on the platform, that says we kept our promises and then some. Thank you again, Jim, and to everybody here in the county for always so graciously hosting me. It is now my pleasure to turn things over to an extraordinary leader, my partner in government. Please help me welcome Middlesex County's own, the Speaker of the General Assembly, Craig Kaufman.
Well, thank you, Governor. It's always good to have you here, especially when you bring a check. And thank you. I'm a little surprised that the governor was so bold about his prediction or his willingness to stand out in front of folks from Iowa in the Rutgers game. I've heard he has a little interest in that state these days. Let it sink in. It'll come. Let it ruin it. Okay. But I want to thank everybody for coming out, because this is really a big deal. This $49 million investment is more than just redoing a railroad station. And I have to say, Teddy Roosevelt era construction and rail construction in the state of New Jersey is having a rough year. The Portal Bridge first, and now this. So if there's anything else along the lines, please let us know. We got to make sure that gets taken care of. But what this really is a part of a few things. It's part and parcel of a historic budget that we passed in Trenton. And I'd like to commend Senator Smith and Assemblyman Danielson, who are both here. Let's give them a round of applause for being part of that success. It was a budget that took into effect all the good fortune that we had from strong revenue and ARP money, American Rescue Plan money, and decided to reinvest it in things that really matter to the people of New Jersey. And so we've spent the summer talking about those things, and this is another example of where the governor pointed out, this is part of a debt, we were using debt defeasance money. We're not going to bond it and pay it over the course of a lifetime. We're going to put the money in it now and save it now. And hopefully, when this is done, it'll do equally as well. And I know the Red Sox won the World Series when this was built first. It was 86 years later when they won again, compared to the 26 the Yankees had won in that time. But I digress too. The truth of the matter is we passed the historic budget, and we're committed to making New Jersey more affordable. And this is one of the things that does it. Because when we invest the money and you pay it now, you don't have to pay interest over the course of the lifetime. But more importantly than all of that is the fact that this is the next step in the New Brunswick Renaissance. When I grew up in Middlesex County, and New Brunswick didn't have the greatest reputation when I was a kid. The truth of the matter is that's wholly different now. All you need to do is walk around New Brunswick and appreciate all of the great things that have happened, right? And they're based on a lot of tenets which make those things possible. An incredible public university, an incredible and important hospital system, a worldwide company that elected to stay. And all of that is because of leadership. Senator Lynch, Mayor Lynch, and now Mayor Cahill, who has been just an extraordinary leader. Mayor, what you have done for New Brunswick is second to none. The governor is right. People ought to come and learn from you about how we run cities in the state of New Jersey. Give him a big round of applause for all this. It takes leadership, and it takes vision, and it takes partnerships, as we talked about. The mayor has provided great leadership, but leadership comes from not just people in the government, but outside. My dear friend Kevin McCabe is one of the great leaders in this state. Chris Palladino is one of those great leaders in the state. Let's give them both big rounds of applause. They're not formally involved in government, certainly help New Brunswick turn it into the place it's going to be, and are at the helm of that. Their partnership with Rutgers University, the expansion of RWJ Barnabas, and the philanthropic adventures of the Morris family. Those are all the things that have to come together if you're going to continue to build and grow the city, and there can be no better example of that than New Brunswick. And so it's fitting that this train station now gets the new face, becomes part of the next step of the New Brunswick Renaissance. When it's done and be completed, it'll be a new face for people who come to visit, but for everybody in New Brunswick will know it's just the next step, and all of us who are proud enough to call, lucky enough to call Middlesex our home, that this is just the next step in the Renaissance. Governor, thank you for your leadership in this issue. Thank you for understanding how important this building is and New Brunswick is to the state of New Jersey. And thanks for being here today. This is an exciting project. We will all be proud, and New Brunswick will benefit in the decades to come because of this action today. Thank you for letting me be a small part of it. Thank you very much.
Let me be unequivocal. Beat Iowa. I mentioned I live in Monmouth County, and he's my congressman. First of all, Craig, thank you. Great words and great leadership. So let me say that. Is that your drone? That is. It is. Just keep an eye on things. I mentioned that he's my congressman. He's one of the most important members of Congress, chair of the Energy and Commerce Committee. I don't know where we would be without him fighting for us in Washington, and means an enormous amount. I know I can speak on behalf of our Middlesex colleagues. He means an enormous amount to Middlesex County. Please help me welcome the chairman, Congressman Frank Pullen.
I just want the governor and the speaker and Ron Rios and everyone to know that when I'm here today for this event, I feel like I'm in paradise after having spent 12 hours yesterday fighting off every effort in my committee by the Republicans to derail everything that you talk about and that we talk about. We had I don't want to spend too much time, but we had 18 what we call resolutions of inquiry that we had to defeat in the committee yesterday. It took us 12 hours from 10 o'clock in the morning to almost 11 o'clock at night. And these are efforts to basically get rid of all the things we talked about, right? So for example, they were complaining about the SPRO and how we've taken the oil from this reserve in order to lower gas prices. That was unacceptable, right? They were complaining about how we had addressed climate change and that they wanted to reverse that, and on and on and on. And it's just such a pleasure to be here in New Brunswick and hear about all the great things that all of you are doing together and looking towards the future. This is the innovation hub, and wherever I go in the state or in New York, wherever I see all the ads about Middlesex County being the innovation county, and it's really true. You look towards the future. You know, technology, health, life sciences, the things that the governor and the speaker talked about. If you don't make those investments towards the future, then you're going to be left behind. And that's the point that I always try to make in Washington, and I use all of you as an example of how government can come together at the state, the county, the local level, and make things and accomplish things that create jobs, improve people's lives. And the best thing of all, Craig, was when you explained to me what the debt defeasance was, that it's actually saving money in the long run. So, I mean, think about this. All these things that are being done, the hub, the improvements to the train station, the medical school, all the things that are, as the governor said, are going to be behind us. And it's being done in a way that not only invests in the future, but also in the long run saves money. So to me, that's just incredible. So I just want to say, in conclusion, what I always say is that when I come here to New Brunswick and Middlesex County, and certainly our state, is always trying to do one step better. And it's such an example, if you will, for the rest of the country. And I wish I could get that message across more in Washington, and I'll certainly try. But thank you for what's being done today, because this is really going to be fantastic. As the governor said, we'll come back in 10 years or maybe less. But to be perfectly honest, other than the whole, it looks pretty good right now, too. I mean, all the things that have been done in New Brunswick, Mayor, over the years, it actually looks great. So thank you again.
Thank you, Frank, and thank you for everything you do on our behalf in D.C. and back here at home. Last but not least, we have the Commissioner Director who's here with his colleagues, and I know he wants to acknowledge them personally, but Ron is a great leader. And Ron, I don't know where Middlesex County would be without you. And thank you for your leadership and your passion and personal. You're a great friend as well. Please help me welcome the Commissioner Director, Ron Rios.
Good afternoon. And as mentioned here by so many people involved in this, it's partnerships, and I'm blessed to have the partners on the Commissioner Board. And with me here today is Commissioner Clarabella Escona-Barber and Commissioner Charlie Kenny. And we're also blessed by having the team that's here with us also is our Administrator John Polomina and our Executive Director for the MCIA, Jim Polos. Thank you for all of you for your hard work and dedication. As the New Brunswick Skyline Transforms, which you can see with the New Jersey Innovation and Technology Hub construction site behind us, the need for a modern transportation system that can meet the demands and capacity of our community's growth will be key to our success. Middlesex County has been anticipating this need for some time through significant investments in transportation, including our commitment to autonomous vehicle technologies and public transportation. The county has taken a leading role in shaping our transportation network. This future forward thinking, which is becoming synonymous with Middlesex County, has led us into this partnership on the New Brunswick train station. This all made possible due to the efforts of our legislators, in particular Speaker Coughlin and the 17th Legislative District, as well as Governor Murphy, in allocating $49 million for these renovations. I'm also excited to share that the improvements to the station from design to construction will be project managed by the county through the Middlesex County Improvement Authority. This is a familiar role for the county, as it is the same process currently taking place with the North Brunswick train station a few miles down the track. In 2019, the MCIA entered a first-of-its-kind partnership with New Jersey Transit to serve as project manager for the development of the North Brunswick train station. Today, the announcement that the MCIA will play a similar role for the station in New Brunswick is a testament to the constructive collaboration between New Jersey Transit and the MCIA and the swift progress the North Brunswick train station has made since 2019. As a county that celebrates our rich past and understands that where we have been is as important as where we are going, the new development plans will marry the history of the New Brunswick station's main building, built more than 120 years ago, with modern amenities, including new waiting areas, pedestrian passageways, improved platforms, and more, as well as technologies needed to support a bustling train station of the future. Commuters, residents, students, and visitors will be welcomed to a station that is more reflective of the world-class healthcare, arts and culture, education, and business that will attract them to this city. This announcement of the development of the transformed train station here in New Brunswick is further solidifying Middlesex County's place among the most innovative counties in the region, with facilities that will focus on all aspects of quality of life for our residents. Through critical infrastructure projects like the Innovation Hub, the Jack and Cheryl Morris Cancer Center, the North Brunswick train station, and soon the New Brunswick train station, the county, along with its steadfast partners, is changing how our residents experience and enjoy our community. It's granting better access to the state-of-the-art healthcare and is easing commutes to give residents a better quality and sustainable life. On behalf of the Middlesex County Board of County Commissioners, I would like to once again extend my gratitude to Governor Murphy and our legislative leaders for joining us here today and supporting this project. I would also like to recognize the Commissioner of the New Jersey Department of Transportation, Diane Gutierrez-Scacchetti, for her support and collaboration on this and many initiatives, as well as the leadership of New Jersey Transit, who have been great partners for us. Once again, the county and its partners are setting the benchmark for how strategic collaboration can transform communities for even a brighter future. Thank you.
Ron, thank you so much for that and for your leadership. As they say in Hollywood, it's a wrap. So on behalf, Jim, thank you so much for hosting us so graciously, not once in my case, but a couple of times today. And to all the Middlesex County folks, from the chairman to the director, the commissioners, legislators, my congressman, Speaker Coughlin, everybody here today. Thank you so much for everything you do. God bless you all. Have a great weekend.